Well, welcome back to the channel and more maintenance on my 805 Merry Fisher. So today's job is to remove the shaft and change the cutlass bearing. So let me just show you the actual shaft. I've given it a bit of a clean. I've got the prop off, you see that on an earlier video, and just giving it a clean using brick cleaner just to clean up the shaft a little bit, get rid of some of the calcium on it and the build up. It's ready for pulling it out, the cutlass bearing and out the boat basically, and then I can change the cutlass bearing. So let's give you a quick pan view. Well, there is the P bracket, the shaft, and that's what I'm going to be taking out, the shaft. So I'm going to have to change the cutlass bearing as well because that's worn. I've cleaned the shaft up already, ready to come out. There's a couple of grub screws on the P bracket that I'm going to have to undo. Hopefully they're going to come out with relatively ease. Next job is to get up into the boat, undo the coupling and the shaft out the coupling, and then hopefully it's all going to slide out nice and easy, and then we can get the cutlass bearing out. And also I'm going to change the shaft seal, which is up by the coupling that goes on the gearbox. So let's get up into the boat and show you how to undo the coupling and the shaft. So we're now at the engine and the gearbox, and I'll just quickly show you the coupling. So there's the coupling down there. If I come to the side, you can see the bolts that I'm going to have to undo just down there to undo the coupling, and just down there is the shaft seal, double lip seal. Both going to be well, that's going to be changed, I should say, but the bolts are going to be interesting. Are they going to come undone? Let's find out, eh? I'll give it a little bit of squirt, a little bit of lubricant, see what happens, and then we'll go and see if we can get them undone. So just a little bit of a squirt on the old bolts, get around the backs of them. Spin the shaft round. It's not, to be honest with you, it's not easy to get to on this. There's not a lot of room, but we'll do our best. So what I've done is I've put a spanner on the back nut, a bit of wood to hold it, just to hold it in position, and then got a ratchet, and they're both 16mm, and I've cracked this one and it's nice and easy and it's happy days. So it's just a matter of undoing each one in turn and then spin the shaft round and undo the next nut. So I'll get to that and I won't bore you with that, and once I've done it we'll get to the next stage, which is pushing the shaft this way towards the back of the boat so we can get to the nut that's going to be on the back of this shaft. Now that could be an interesting nut, that will be. Let's see what it is. Hopefully it is a standard nut and nothing too awkward. I have had nuts before, and you have to use a castle type style socket, but let's hope and pray, eh? Anyway, let's get to it. Well, you can see from there that all the bolts are out, a slight gap on the shaft, and now it's just a matter of pushing it through. There we go. Just spin it round, it makes it life a little bit easier getting it round. And there it is. Right, I can feel the nut, so that's handy. It is a normal nut by the feel of it. I'll see if I can show you with a bit of luck. And there's the nut. So let's get that undone. I'm definitely going to have to grip the shaft with something, and then we can get it undone then. Well, there it is. There's a coupling. The socket's on there. It's a 35mm socket. I thought it was 34, but it's 35mm. I've managed to use the bolt that you can see hanging out there, and there's another bolt there. Put a bar between the two and crack the nut. And it's just a matter now of undoing the nut and then sliding off the actual coupling to the shaft. So I'll get on and do that, and then hopefully the coupling will come off. It's not a great deal, a lot of room to play with in these 805 mirror fishers, but we're getting there, and that's the main thing. Okay, so we've got to get the coupling off the shaft. So what I've done, a couple of bolts either side, one that side, one that side, so you can see it. There we go. And I've put between the flange on the gearbox and the flange here, I put a socket, so it gives you a bit of a gap between the two, and then you just nip up the bolts, which acts as a puller, because there ain't a lot of room down there to do the pulling. And nip either side up evenly so you don't off balance it. And lucky for me, as I was doing it, I put a little bit of tension on it, and before I put the camera on, she popped off. So it's all nice and loose now, and there wasn't a lot of force to do that, to be fair, so I'm more than happy with that. So it's all a matter of just undoing the coupling, well, the bolts to take the coupling away, drop the shaft back and get the shaft out. So nice and easy. Just got to make sure though, when you put that socket on the inside, that you line it up as best you can on obviously the both the coupling in the inside, and obviously the shaft here. You don't want it off centered, you want it as best you can get. What I've done which I'll show you in a minute, actually. Let me come back to it. So there's the socket. So there's the socket. I literally just put blue tack on it like that. It's not going to hold it now, is it? And centerised it. Then offered up the other, or the shaft coupling, and then obviously put the bolts in, and then start pulling against it, and off she pops. So yeah, that's how you do it. Well, there we go. We're ready to pull the shaft. So let's go on and do that. Hopefully it should just fly out now with a bit of luck. It's going to be heavy, so just take it easy and spin it out. So I think we need to clean this off. I forgot to clean that bit, didn't I? So we'll go and clean that off, and then it should slide out. I wondered why it got a bit stiff. I completely forgot about that. So let's move that forward, clean the scum off along here, and then we'll get to it. I'm using brick cleaner here, or mortar cleaner I should say. Brings it off a treat. Got a bucket here just to take the drips off so it's not going on the ground. Now, here it comes. There we go. Nearly there now. There we go. Shaft is out. There we go. Left the rope cutter on there, I'll get that off later. But there it's all. And it all looks fairly good. So, happy days. Well, I've cleaned the shaft, done a bit of emery cloth along it, just to make sure it's all clean. Checked all the points where the shaft seal went, and the cutlass bearing. All looks really good. There's no wear on it, which I'm really happy about. Saves me getting a new shaft, that's for sure. So it's ready to go back in, and it weighs a ton. You can do a few press-ups on this one. Hey, there we go. That's enough of that. And yeah, so it's ready to go back in the boat. I'm going to give it a little bit of a very liquid solution sort of on top to make it help slide through the cutlass bearing as I go, and hopefully it'll slide back in the boat nice and easy, and then we can get on with the rest of the job. So let's get this slid in the cutlass bearing and guide it through, eh? So I'm just putting the solution on. It's only just only to help it slide in the old cutlass bearing, and hopefully that will do the trick. Right, let's slide this in the cutlass bearing, eh? Just guide it in. Just supporting it, it's sliding in quite nicely. Right, and there we go, it's in. The shaft is in. Went in really easy, which is quite nice. I have had them where they're quite tight, but no, went in nice and easy, so happy days. I'm going to carry on getting it all fitted out, the shaft. I've got the shaft seal to do. That's on a different video. Check it out. So I've cleaned up the coupling with a bit of emery cloth to make sure the mating surface is absolutely clean as. Same with this side as well, cleaned that up as well. So they're absolutely perfect now. So it's just a matter of putting on the coupling to the shaft. So let's just do that now. And there we go. Now it's just a matter of finding the washer and the nut. It's a 35mm nut, and I've managed to get hold of a 35mm socket off of Amazon. Thank you very much. Clearly there's other suppliers, but Amazon were the quickest. So I'm just cleaning up the nut and washer. There we are, there's the washer. There's the nut, and there's a bit of crap on it. Let's get rid of that. Blow that out, give it a bit of a clean. And let's get it located. Just doing it finger tight at the moment. There we go. Right, I'll go and torque that up now, and we can start hanging it on with one bolt for starters, getting the alignment about right, and we may have to adjust the engine up or down to get the phalanges alignment. Currently I'm on the hard stand at the moment, so I should probably just put 2 bolts in just to hang it on. When I get launched and put in the water, then I should actually do the final mating to make sure that the shaft is aligned correctly. So I don't suppose it'd be too far out, and yeah, so let's get that done. So the coupling is all now on, it's tightened up, and it's ready to hang on the bolts onto the other coupling to make them up. And as I said, I'm just going to put 2 in only, top and bottom, and well, opposite each other if you like, just until the boat's launched, and then I can do that final shaft alignment with a feeler gauge. So just a matter of pulling it up, finding the bolts, finding the holes that line up, and there we go. Right, there's the bolts. I probably will get some new nylocks, but for now I'm just going to put them in, nip them up, and get somewhere in there. I don't suppose it'll be too far out. There was certainly no stiffness in the shaft at any location I spun the shaft, so hopefully it'll be all good. That's one in. I've got a cold, sorry guys, I've got a cold and you can probably hear me sniffling a lot. Excuse me. Spin the shaft round so I can see the bolt. Cool. Now, just a matter of nipping those up, and that is it. That is it for the shaft, and I'll show you when I do the alignment next. Well, the boat is back in the water, so we're in a natural state for the shaft to be lined. I've got one bolt there and one bolt there. I've slackened them off, so it's the coupling is loose. I'm now going to turn it so one bolt is facing upwards. So so the natural weight is there. Nothing's holding it and biting in, just purely me pushing it in and making the two couplings join together. And I'm going to put a feeler gauge at the very top and the very bottom and see if there's a gap between the two. First off, so I'll get a feeler gauge. We'll start off pretty small. We'll do half a mil. Now let's do 0.2 of a mil first off, and see if so. There's a little bit of a gap there. So I'm just going to push it up a bit. Now we'll try again. No, it's not going in. Let's try here. So there's a slight 0.2 going in at the moment at the very bottom. Let's just try the very top. This is not easy with so yeah, 0.2 is going out there as well. So let's just, there we are. So 0.2 is going in. Let's just try and see if 0.5 will go in. We'll go from there. And if it's equal at the top and the bottom, then it's pretty good. Right. So 0.5 is not going in. Just try it this way. No, 0.5 is not going in there. So we'll try 0.3 next, I think, and see if that goes on the top of the bottom. 0.3. Just see if that goes at the bottom. Not quite going in there. No, that's not going in there. It's just so 0.3 is not going in at the very bottom. Just making sure it's stiff. Right, so no, 0.3 is not. No. No, 0.3 is not. So it looks good to me by the look of it. So 0.2 slightly does, and 0.3 doesn't at the top and the bottom. So it says to me that she is true and aligned. So once I've bolted that up, then obviously the flanges will be completely flush together. The shaft's in alignment and it's all good to go. I will just check either side with a little bit there. Let's just check this side as well. And a little bit there. So yeah, it's about even. So I'm happy with that. So now I'll just do all 4 bolts up, and that is the shaft aligned. So thanks for watching. I hope that helps you out for a Mary Fisher 805 shaft install and shaft alignment. Don't forget, always appreciate a thumbs up, any comments, and any other ways you know of doing this job easier. I'm more than happy with that. And don't forget to check out my other maintenance channels on my channel to do with boat maintenance, engine maintenance, oil changes, flushing the seawater side, you name it, it's on there. So that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed.